You've played with so many great guitar players. What is one of the things you notice about the guys that you love to play with that we as guitar players, like either habits or just things that they do, like parts of the kit that they lock in on?
Yeah.
Like what makes a great guitar player to you?
So for me, we didn't say a word. We just looked at each other. Sometimes eyebrows went up. Sometimes I did my usual, stuck my tongue out. But we jammed and we had fun. And man, your groove. What makes a guitar player great for a drummer? Number one is your tempo. And your tempo's rock solid. Dude. You started that 5 minutes after we played it the first time at the exact same tempo. You started it at 10 minutes ago. All your fills have soul, and you really, it's about passion to me. Passion, passion, passion. Whether you're playing at a whisper or you're playing as hard as you can, if you're passionate and not just kind of, oh yeah, well I guess I'll play this groove, I guess I'll play this. No, everything you did had bite, and it had soul, and it had passion, intent. So that's what I really loved about that part of what makes a great guitarist great.
Wow, dude, thank you. So Gregg Bissonette.
Hi, everybody.
And in this episode, first of all, I'm still just sitting here just flabbergasted over all the wonderful things you just said. I don't think I deserve any of that, but I love you. And
I love you too.
You are an incredible musician, but you're also, it's rare to meet the trifecta of great player, great teacher, great human being.
Oh,
and that is you.
Well, I think it's your own bad breath blowing back in your face, my man. Right back at you, as they say in LA. Or they say that more in Denton, Texas, where I went to college. Right back at you. And if you hear a band that doesn't really play so great, and they're just not grooving, and the song's not clicking, you got your Coors beer, and you say, play something you know. Or, I caught your last set, you okay to drive? So, but you are none of those. You are the trifecta yourself, my funky brother from another mother.
Oh, dude.
What's next? What are we going to play next?
Well, I tell you, here's what I'd like to do.
Come on.
I'm hoping to get some wisdom from you.
Well, I hope I have some wisdom to give you.
You do. So here's the deal. This episode is about what makes a great guitarist in your perspective. Okay. And obviously rhythm is going to be a huge part of that. I feel in my own life, we were talking earlier, there's BPMs that you have that are like your home, it matches your circadian rhythm or whatever.
I
right?
love that, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that BPM we were just in, that feels great to me. Like,
do you know what it is? Can you name it?
No, I can't, and I should.
Well, I have a new app that I got to show you.
Okay.
And this app, all you got to do is pull it up on your phone, and it's literally called Live BPM.
Uh-huh.
And if you'll hold that right there.
Okay.
90. Let's just say 90 is your go-to groove. or 180. I like to double it. I never want a click that's 90.
Yeah.
If it's under 100, I want the engineer, the Jordan, to go less room for error. I want an eighth note click whenever
So you feel the
possible.
subdivision so you can lean into it more.
And it's less room for error. I mean, if you had 40, I don't even know where 40 is. Okay, here we go. I want 16th notes at 40. I want eighth notes, really.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head and in my mouth, I'm putting my tongue at the roof of my mouth, and I'm going. While you were playing, I didn't have to do that because you were subdividing really, really well. But if I'm playing, I'm gonna go.
Well, that's a good trick.
It's very important because you have to internalize the subdivisions in order to play with the kind of groove you're playing. And you're internalizing, I can tell, when you're doing this, you're internalizing it. Some younger players, some older players, they don't know how to internalize the groove and subdivide because that's what keeps the tempo steady, I think. So that's a great app. You can have that on while you're playing. It might kind of freak you out. Oh no, I'm at 92. Oh no, I'm at 89. And what does a kid do in school? Johnny, the drummer, Johnny, when the band director says, Johnny, drummer, Johnny, you're slowing down, you're dragging, Johnny. What does Johnny do? Johnny purposely rushes. He plays on top of the beat because he doesn't want to be the bad Johnny, right? If the band director says, Johnny, you're rushing, man. What does Johnny do? Oh, I better slow down. Don't ever think like that. Just think, I'm not at 90. I got to be at 90. So whenever I play, anytime, I've got another drum stool right here with my phone and a metronome app that's going, okay, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3, ba-da-ba-dum, boom. Then I'll turn it off. But at least I know I'm starting it at the right place because our human makeup, whether we've had a coffee yet or whether we didn't get enough sleep or whatever happens in your life, or whether you just get off a tour bus, every touring musician will tell you when you get off a tour bus and say it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're hanging out, you're on your phone, okay, 5 o'clock, sound check, okay, you haven't had your coffee yet, or your Red Bull or your Celsius or whatever, and you play, 9 times out of 10, the singer will say, Johnny, oh, it's way too slow. Oh, okay, yeah, right, okay. And then when the time the gig happens, and you're all looking out, peering out through the curtain, and there's a million people out there, and you've had your Starbucks, you've had your quad espresso, and wow, here we go. Johnny, it's way too slow because our rhythm is internally just jamming. If you have this, your iPhone or a rhythm watch or any kind of a metronome, that will make it easy. And I have to say, with the Ringo tour, we never, ever, ever talk about tempo because I have that there. Ringo knows I have it there. Everybody in the band knows I have it there. So even though their moods are up or down or tired or awake, they don't question it because they know the drummers got the tempo. Not that I have great tempo, because I don't. Not that I can pull tempos out of the sky, because I can't. But I have a great song starter that tells me where it is. If I'm tired in the middle of the day or I'm pumped before a show, that's what I've gotten going the last probably 30 years.
Yeah, I want to just pause on that and just highlight a few of those nuggets because you said a lot just then. So number one, everybody has a comfortable tempo range probably. It's probably, for me, it's probably 90, and then as it starts to speed up a little bit, I probably start to lose, and slow down too, start to lose comfort, right? Number two, you ought to find that. I didn't know that till just now, and you just brought it up. You should
90.
know that, Nate. Yeah. And so right now, if you're watching this, when this video's over and you have some time with your guitar, you ought to think about, if you're just playing something for fun, like a song that's your most fun thing to play, there's a gazillion metronome apps out there, and if you don't have a metronome, you ought to. But you could tap that in and find that and realize, oh man, I feel really good right here. And then that becomes a place okay, let's start practicing a little faster by maybe 5 BPM or so, or maybe even a little slower. your scales or even just some changes or whatever you're working on, right?
Yeah.
But you also said, and this is for the guys who've been playing for a while, when you said this, like, man, it's so true. I literally lived this last night in a rehearsal where multiple people were like, man, that's too fast. And the guy that was, we had like some tracks with like keyboards and background vocals and stuff.
How can it be too fast if it's tracks?
Right, and the guy was running the tracks, was like, nope, this is the BPM. It's always been this.
It cuts through all the BS.
Well, what it is like you said, you get tired, maybe your emotions are high.
Every day.
All that stuff, and that affects your sense of rhythm. And boy, that right there will preach, right?
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, you need something that's a constant.
Yeah.
Because we are not constant beings. We go through emotional highs and lows, excitement, our blood pressure, everything changes all the time. And that's a good thing because we're human. And it's okay to let things move and breathe. And maybe a verse could be a little back, maybe a chorus could be a little up. But the main thing is it's at this tempo. And if you're great at 90, then here's the bummer of the whole thing. You got to be great at 120, 140, 135, 110, 165, 163, 167. You have to be able to hear a tempo and then quickly internalize it, subdivide, and just be great at every tempo. Or else, I mean, for a drummer anyway, that's your main gig.
So that's wonderful. And thinking about like how that relates to guitar. So
should be the same.
Yeah, it should be. Well, one of my favorite questions to ask if I'm ever called upon to, encourage a team of musicians or a band, or especially younger cats, I'll say, whose job is it to keep time in the band?
Everybody's.
Right. And there's a lot of people like, well,
drummer.
Yeah,
it's your fault if it speeds up or slows down.
Yeah, and it gets worse from there because often as guitar players, we think of your rhythm guitar if you're not as good. So your job is now rhythm guitar, when in reality, I feel like, obviously, there's melodic licks that are important. Like if you're playing the solo to Hotel California or the intro to Sweet Child of Mine or whatever, there's like things that you got to know. But even then, that is about a rhythm thing.
It's all rhythm.
Yeah. And so with that, you play with so many great guitar players. What is one of the things you notice about the guys that you love to play with that we as guitar players, like either habits or just things that they do, like parts of the kit that they lock in on?
Yeah.
Like what makes a great guitar player to you?
So for me, since I've been about 22 years old and got out of college, I've had the great blessing to play with mostly really great guitar players. Last week, on Thursday, I went into Henson A&M Studios. Who did I record with? Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, and Joe Satriani.
Hey,
all three of those guys.
You played with those guys before?
A couple times, 2 or 3 times. And so Steve was the only one there that day. Billy's in Nashville, and Joe, I think, is on tour. But anyway, Steve came into the studio and played me the Pro Tools track that I was going to record on. And of course, there's a click. And there's Joe, and there's Steve, and there's Billy. And I think one of the other songs is going to have the great bass player from Dirty Loops too. So we did 2 songs. But when you get to, especially where I live in Los Angeles, where I grew up in Warren, Michigan, I love Warren, Michigan, but there weren't as many amazing, there were some amazing musicians with amazing time, but there were some that weren't amazing and didn't have amazing time. But my band director in high school said to me, he said, we played a gig, it's like 7 a.m, we're doing jazz band rehearsal. And he said, Greg, he singles me out, he goes, last night when you played with my band of pros, people that were over 30 probably, that were all, done it forever, he said, you sounded so much better than you sound right now. Mm-hmm. And he said, there's a reason for that. Because you always want to surround yourself with people that are better than you.
Yeah.
And that's how you improve. That's how you grow. We talked about growing earlier. You grow when you're in a situation with people that are better than you. And one of the great things about moving to Los Angeles and doing recording session work is that there's, probably 20 drummers, 20 bass players, 20 guitar players, 20 keyboard players that I see all the time, and they are all at the top of their game. They don't rush when they play upbeats, which is usually what younger or not so amazing time musicians, 1, 2, when you did this, it was in sync. and the 16ths didn't rush. Players with less experience than you would go, and to the naked eye, it might not sound that weird, but for a drummer who's going, and going, and they go, you go, ah! And you have to, in the studio, lean down, because nowadays everybody has individual monitor mixers. So you turn the guitar down, or you turn down that singer. One time I was in a very uncomfortable session where there was a singer from another country who didn't speak English. All she knew was that I must have had her off, because we're playing and she was so on top of the beat. I turned her off. I couldn't groove. I had a loop, I had a great bass player, great guitar player, all session musicians, and a singer that just didn't have a clue where the groove was, so I turned her off. So we're all sitting around in between takes, and I get this, Gregg, what? Oh, and she translated, she says, am I off in your headphones? And I could have lied, I could have said, oh, it's a mistake. I didn't call her out in front of the whole group, which is a very important thing. Don't ever call somebody out in front of other people, because then that comes off like chest pumping or puffing, or I'm gonna make me look cool by putting you down. I just said, oh, hold on a second, I gotta use a restroom. And I didn't go to the restroom, I lied. And I went around and I went into her vocal booth and I said, out of the microphone, I said, you know, it's hard for me to play the way you want me to play with that click and that loop, because when you speed up, when you rush those upbeats, bop, 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 it throws off my groove. So I had to turn you down. So you sing so beautifully. She had great tone to her voice. I said, you have such a beautiful tone, but it would help me if you could watch and not speed up on the upbeats. And she said, thank you. I was like, I thought I was going to get fired or never called back again. She said, thank you. And she said, thank you for two reasons. Thank you for letting me know what I can do to help you play better, because it's my album and I want you to play well, but thanks for not doing what some musicians do and just go, hey man, it's your fault, man. I can't turn you up because you rush. You're never going to work for that person again. The music business is about people skills, relationships. Treat other people the way you wish they would treat you. So if you have something to say to somebody, say it quietly where nobody else can hear, and then it'll be like a thanks kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that is a nugget of wisdom number 3, and please don't miss that. Don't gloss over that, because part of the, I mean, you're a great player. You're learned, but you have just a natural groove. But one of the biggest gifts, in my opinion, that you have is that you have such a compassion gift, that you care about the way that you communicate. Great communication isn't just me telling you some information. Great communication is me telling you information in a way that you might receive it.
Yeah.
And you do that, and you do it musically. When we were playing earlier, I messed up a bunch. But because you had such a cradle of groove, there's no way you were going to let me fall out.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And so to that end, like, don't miss that, because right now you might be watching this going, well, that's Gregg, and Gregg has that. The truth is, that is a skill that you have had to practice.
Oh, I practice it every day. And I didn't have my click. So I was going extra hard in the paint. That's a basketball term when you're under the net. The paint. I was going extra hard in the paint because I was like, I don't have that little song starter telling me where I'm at. I don't have live BPM. I never started it with a click. I can't tell if it's faster or slower. So I got to internalize. And what I liked the most about what we did, because you asked the question earlier, what part of the drum kit, like kick drum, snare drum, is going to give you the tempo you need? To me, it's guitar and hi-hat, whether it's or if it's sorry. There it is. I've always connected with guitar and hi-hat.
Not the kick. Interesting.
Bass and kick.
Bass and
kick. Bob up.
Yeah.
Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Snare drum, just plain old 2 and 4 right down the middle. I'm not one of these. This is a controversial topic.
Let's hear it. It's Chords and Coffee.
Chords and Coffee.
We need to make some coffee here in a second.
Make some coffee. controversial topic. You're playing a session and somebody says, you know, man, this song has kind of like a laid back, swampy groove, so play behind the beat. Hey bro, this next song, man, it's really like edgy and it's, you know, really intense and we gotta get up on the beat, man, and like really push it. Both of those things are so opposite of the way I think. If I'm playing a track and it's 90, and the guy comes in and goes, hey man, bro. When they say bro, you know you're in trouble. Bro, you know, I just need this to be like really back, you know, bro. Well, back, if this is the tempo, and that's 90, and then this is 85, and that's 95, and this is 90, and that's 89. Well, how can you play a groove, kick, snare, and hi-hat that's at 88, say, 2 BPMs behind 90, okay? Then you have to do a fill. And how are you gonna keep that fill exactly 2 clicks behind? It's impossible. Nobody can do that. I remember a great friend of mine from a famous band with a wild singer who literally fired my friend who was in one of the biggest bands in the world. And he said, oh, on this next take, you know, he's telling this drummer who you would know the guy's name, I'm not gonna say his name, world-class drummer. He says, on this next take, I really need to have your snare drum like way back, like, you know, kind of a New Orleans, way behind the beat, Muscle Shoals, kind of Alabama, way back. I need your kick drum up front, bro. Like New York City traffic. And he says, where do you want the toms in the Midwest? It's like, you don't work that way as a drummer. The tempo is the tempo. You don't separate your limbs and try to play back or on top. So if I'm playing at 90, and this happened with a really famous session, a famous band I was working with, and the lead singer produced. So he's in the booth, and we're at like 130, right? And he doesn't say it like, hey, Gregg, can you come in the booth? He says it in front of the whole band. He goes, Gregg, that was a good take, man, but we really need to have it like more edgy, more on top. So, okay, great, no problem. So I go, where's my other stick bag? And while he's out of the room, I go up to the Pro Tools engineer in the studio and I go, hey, it's 130. Could you bump it up to 132? And just not really say anything. He goes, no problem. So we do another take at 132, and the singer goes, bro, that's exactly what I needed. Way to play on top of the beat. I wasn't playing on top of the beat. I was playing in the middle of the beat, which is the only way I know how to do it. I practiced my whole life with metronomes and apps and little rhythm watches and all that stuff. I know how to play in the middle of the beat, so I asked him to speed it up too. All he had to say, because he was not very experienced, this lead singer who got the call from the record label to produce, was, it's feeling a little slow. Could we move it up to 132? But he had to make his bro point. Bro, I think it needs to be more on edge, more New York City, you know, rush hour traffic. Cool, gotcha. And you don't need to go, hey, you know, you're full of crap. I just sped it up 2 notches. You'll never work with that person again. You go, good idea, man. It has more energy there. Yeah, I like it. So wisdom, you have to find a way to make it work without trying to chest puff, and trying to act like you're winning an argument, because it's music. It's not about winning an argument. There's egos, and there's no industry in the world that's more ego-driven than the entertainment industry. But just take the ego out of it and just go and serve the music, serve the song. Because drummers that play fills all the time in the middle of things, and guitar players that don't do what you did and play rhythmical, they go, well, those kind of things are hard for a drummer when I gotta keep it there, but that's not very, you know. Anyway, I'm blabbing.
No, it's great. I mean, blessed are the peacemakers.
That's right, the Beatitudes.
I mean? That's right, and just having the wisdom to know this is what it's needed. And I mean, so much of being what's funny, so when I'm playing at my church, 99.9% of the time I am playing rhythm guitar. I'm not even playing lead. And I said not even playing lead. I say that because when I first started, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I thought I should do. You know, just real talk. But the truth is that that's where that group of musicians prefers me to serve. And so therefore, I am going to do it gladly. And there's a lot of what you just said that for an experienced guitarist, any kind of musician, I hope you caught that. I'm sitting here and I am receiving what you're saying, because so much of it is like, man, serve the people, serve the tribe that you're in at the moment, serve the song, and don't try to serve your ego, because nobody gets served when that happens.
Yeah, Steve Lukather is a great example of a guitar player that has recorded so much, but he said he mainly got hired to play rhythm.
Yeah.
Like, little parts on Michael Jackson albums or whatever. Yeah. And he brings in his bro, Eddie Van Halen. He calls him Shred. I brought in Shred to play the solo and beat it, but I wanted to play, what's the bow, 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 bow. He said, and he's a great soloist, and he loves the solo, but I think he loves to play rhythm just as much as he loves the solo. And I think that's important. I love to solo. Tonight I'll be doing drum solos, but I'll also be playing beats that work for songs. And I like to combine that. To me, it's all music. And it's, as long as you do it with passion and conviction, and you don't try to let your ego play things that are going to be, oh my gosh, that's the greatest lick I've ever heard. The highest lick, the fastest lick, the fastest to hammer on, whatever it is. Don't think like that. Just think about what's going to be the right thing for this song or this solo or whatever.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, so you said, I think the point number 4, you want the guitar player to lock in with the hi-hat. You said something earlier too, maybe this is kind of where we can round it out. You said something about playing with intent.
Intent.
Yeah, there was a great, went to a great band director clinic, and he talked about how music is the intersection of sound, silence, and intention. And if you don't have intention, you have bloodless music. Yeah.
I used to study with Tony Williams, the drummer from Miles Davis, and he said that he hates mamsy-pamsy drummers. And I said, what do you mean exactly? Somebody that when they pick up the sticks, they do this. Yeah, these drums sound pretty good, man. Anyway, well, what did you just do? You just didn't even think about anything, but you just picked up sticks with no intention. That is, the older I get, man, especially working in the studios since I was about 22 years old. So 44 years ago, something clicked where guitar players, bass players, keyboard players would be walking into the playing room, and there's the control room there. And usually it goes like this. Okay, let's hear some kick drum. And somebody's got their coffee, and they're going over to where Jim is to sit down where the bass should be, and they're going. And it's annoying, and it's jarring, and there's no intent. I'm sorry that was so loud. So now, when I pick up the sticks, this happened when I was probably about 25 years old. Why don't I try to make it fun for these guys coming into the room? Okay, let's go to rack 1, and usually drummers, to avoid the snare's buzzing, we usually do this trick. And the engineer's thinking, yeah, that's a great sounding kit. There's no snare buzz. He's got the tuning dialed in, so there's no sympathetic.
He just threw the snare off.
I turned my snares off. And so you have all these tricks, But you know what an engineer really needs? An engineer, whether it's live or in a recording studio, an engineer needs to hear this as an instrument.
Yeah.
That is an instrument. You don't go, let me hear your E string real quick. Can I just hear your E string? Can I hear the low string real quick? Now, play some of the strings in the middle, but separately. Can you play them open? Just play one note in the middle open. Okay, that's making the other strings vibrate. I gotta get a compressor and a limiter. No, this is one instrument, that's one instrument. So I started playing a groove that when these guys came in at 10 in the morning, and they went to bed at 3, and they got their coffee, and they wanna have an easy, fun, grooving day. I started playing a groove, and some of the engineers started calling it the soundcheck groove.
The soundcheck groove.
And there's how many pieces of this instrument are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe the bell is a 9th sound. So I started playing a groove, kind of like a second line New Orleans groove, but something that was fun to listen to, that incorporated every instrument, every part of this instrument. every element of this instrument. And I'm going to play it soft. I wouldn't play it this soft if I was getting sounds. I'd play a little more full. So it's this groove. And I do this groove every single time I play in the studio. And the engineer never has a chance to go, can I hear the rack tom separately to see if the snare is buzzing? They just go, wow. They pull up the kick. Wow, they pull up the snare, pull up the toms. They get everything balanced, which is what engineering really should be, besides EQing everything. To heck, I think you should just balance everything so the kick and the snare and the toms and the cymbals and the hi-hat are the same. I play this. And you know what that did? It made you want to play.
Yes.
It made you want to play with
Couldn't
me.
help it.
That's our job as drummers, for sure, is to make people, and when Jim gets over there on the bass, he's plugging in, he's got his headphones on, he's going to want to play, as opposed to get your bass over there, plug it in, and get the heck out of the room, because this is annoying. So I made you want to play.
Yeah.
Okay, now sometimes it depends on where I'm at in the country or where I'm at in the world. And I do a lot of recording sessions in Austin. And when I go to Austin, the groove, you're never gonna guess, that I start playing that's gonna make the bass player wanna go, and the guitar player, is this, a Texas shuffle kind of thing. Man, that was really in the pocket. You know, as a drummer, that your guitar player really knows how to play a Texas shuffle when they don't do this, but they do this, like Stevie Ray, like that kind of motion. Because that's got to feel. That's got to.
Yeah, and all that is what's funny is I'm literally doing my best impression of a snare, kind of like that. It's probably the wrong term, but that kind of molar round movement.
Molar, did you say?
I did say that.
He said molar.
Yeah. Is that
Charles
okay?
Molar. Sanford Molar was a technique when you're playing. Instead of this, you're going. And I can't believe
you
know about molar technique.
Now, I'm not thinking molar.
No, but you knew drumming.
Well, it would occur to me.
Where'd you learn that?
Well,
the drumming aspect of molar.
So I have a brother, Josh, who is a phenomenal drummer.
There you go. That's why you learned it from Josh.
And another brother, John, who's a great bass player.
There you go.
And so I had the wonderful privilege. Nobody tells you in the same breath that I love you to the core of your soul, but you also suck to the core of your soul, like your brothers, right?
Like
and so we were really hard on each other, but also, all that to say this is that thing right there,
molar.
Hours.
It's molar.
And trying to make a circle out of it.
That's a circle, yeah.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
Because drummers, what they often do this, which is if they have to play a fast tempo, ba-da, 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 and that is hard to maintain.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
But Jeff Porcaro did molar a lot, where it's like a cobra going, da, 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 da. And you can do this forever. I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. I can do that till the cows come home. I can't do this till the cows come home. But the molar technique, it's a version of it. It's like a modified molar. But that's so cool that, anyway, I just know that it gives you an accent.
Because you get the pick scraping and everything else.
The pick scraping.
Yeah, and maybe kind of the bow on this conversation for guitarists is that I hope this has encouraged you, but more importantly, I hope this is, for me, first of all, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's a blessing to have you here. But for me, it's like, because I grew up with brothers that played drums and bass, I was initially forced to watch, videos with you in it.
Drum channel, DCI videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, this is Dave Weckl.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
From St. Louis.
Yeah.
I always bust him on that, and he laughs, get out of here. Well, then you got the guy, hi, my name is Bobby Rondinelli, and I'm going to do this twirling video. And everybody's got their own thing, But you watch those.
Oh, yeah. But I learned that, hey, there's something that I can take from that.
Amen.
And that's the whole point of this lesson. You want to be a guitar player that drummers love to play with, think rhythmically, work on your rhythm, take your natural BPMs that feel good to you and start to push them a little ahead, push them a little back, just so you can start to get comfortable in those places.
Don't rush your upbeats.
Don't rush your upbeats. Be the kind of musician that communicates with humility. Take time to make sure that ultimately you're serving the song, but also that moment, those people you're with. Man, thank you so much for being here.
What a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, we had a saying around here that we're living life the best we can with a guitar in our hand.
Oh,
and we do this every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We don't always have Gregg Bissonette, but Greg and I are about to do right now. Let's play out, but I want you to pour this coffee.
While I'm playing?
While you're playing. And
I'm going to do my Dennis Chambers lick then.
Yeah,
ready?
Yeah. And we're going to play together.
Okay. Yeah! We did it!
Thank you.
We poured, we drank, and we jammed.